Hello and welcome to the next Ditch Witch Diaries. We are continuing on with our herbs again, and we are with Raven doing the next herb. Take it away, Raven.
Hello. Okay, so let me.
Did I mess everything up?
Okay. No, you're good. There we go. Okay.
Okay.
So, cilantro.
Ooh.
Oh man, it's so annoying.
And now it's not going to do that. I know. Now we got.
I know. I don't know why. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. Try it again. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, so cilantro. Now, if you're not aware, cilantro is the same as coriander. Here in America, at least, typically coriander is saved for like the seeds. So like coriander is a spice, it's like the dried seeds. And here in America, we typically refer to the above ground part, like the leafy part, as cilantro. That's not true of the whole world. A lot of places just refer to the whole plant as coriander. So I did not really differentiate them. If I found different information for coriander than cilantro, then I kind of just stuck with cilantro. But I just want to make everybody aware that typically in America, coriander is the seeds, dried usually, or dried and powdered. Okay, so botanical names is Coriandrum sativum, and parts used leaves and stalks. Again, for coriander spice, it would be the seeds, but for cilantro, it's the leaves and the stalks. Some people prefer to only use the leaves. I don't mind the stalks. The only folk names that I really found was Chinese parsley and dania, and then obviously coriander. So firstly, let's talk about the soap aspect. So a lot of people don't like cilantro because they think that it tastes like soap. And so we found, or research has found, that the people who say that cilantro tastes like soap have this gene cluster called OR6A2. And so this, if you have this gene cluster, you pick up on the scent and the taste of the aldehyde chemicals. And if you don't, well, let's see. So most people who think that it tastes like soap has this like cluster, this gene cluster. But we also found that other genes can be involved as well. So even people who don't have this OR6A2 cluster, some of them still think that cilantro tastes like soap. And so this isn't the only factor, but there's some other factors as well. But most people who have that soapy association have this gene cluster. And then if you don't think that it tastes like soap, I love the taste and the smell of cilantro. It does not resonate SOB with me at all, thankfully.
I also love cilantro.
I love cilantro. It's so fresh. I'd like it.
Exactly. I freaking
oh my
love
god.
It's so good. So if you like it, then you usually let's see, almost everybody that they tested who enjoy it, don't get that soapy aspect, do not have this gene cluster. So it's very much like a genetic thing. Also, an interesting thing is the people who have the soapy association can be like conditioned or trained to ignore that aspect. And so there's been a lot of studies on people who taste the soapiness of it, and if they like kind of slowly incorporate cilantro into their foods, after a couple of months of incorporating it, the soapy taste is gone. So you can kind of like train yourself to override that.
Congratulations to all of you people who think it's soapy.
Yes.
More
now you know. My dad, when he was like in his teens, 20s, and then up to like his early 30s, he worked in a grocery store in the produce department. And he said that sales would skyrocket whenever they would chop up cilantro. So they would like chop up cilantro and just put it like in the corner of the produce section. And then cilantro sales would skyrocket.
People could smell it so good.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it smells so good.
I need it.
Okay, so we don't know where it comes from originally. Nobody has really been able to rule this out. There's some theories. Most of the theories point to Mediterranean. And so some people say that, some other people claim North Africa, India, and China, but most theorists believe that it's somewhere in the Mediterranean. We do know that it's mentioned in Egyptian texts in Sanskrit. It's also talked about in the Old Testament. And we know that it has been known to be traded both in oceanic routes and land routes through Europe, Middle East, Asia, and Africa. So pretty much all over the world, cilantro is traded and bought and sold. So when we are looking at where in like the Middle East cilantro might have originated, a lot of sources point to the Nahal Hemar cave. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
Let's see.
No.
It's so I didn't have time to go too deep down this rabbit hole, but it seems pretty cool. So it's this like cave, and so this cave is very, very old. They found like carvings, they found masks, they found all kinds of stuff, and it dates back to 6000 BCE. And there's like levels of this cave where obviously the lower levels have like the oldest artifacts, but it's believed that this cave has been used for a long time for a lot of like spiritual ceremony, like spiritual practices, ceremonious things, like very magical witchy type stuff. There's really interesting stuff found in this cave. And so there were 15 Maricarps, which I had to look this up, but it's essentially like when a seed breaks open and a new plant like spits out. So 15 of these things were found in these caves, and the dating of this is about 6 to 8,000 years ago, and it of like this part of the cave. And we don't know for sure what plant this is, but it's believed that it is cilantro. It's like highly likely that it's cilantro. And so something like we haven't found anything that dates later than this anywhere in the world. So this is like the first evidence we find, if it is indeed cilantro, of where cilantro was used. So it was like a big thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I didn't go down these rabbit holes either, but coriander seed is mentioned in the Old Testament in the book of Exodus. I also just don't necessarily care to read the book of Exodus, but
right.
it's mentioned, I guess. Do you know anything about the book of Exodus, Rebecca?
That's horrible. Yeah,
Oh.
that's the book of Exodus is like where it's just that they're leaving Israel and they spend 40 years wandering around the desert. It's like,
that's the book of Exodus.
And it's probably mentioned because there's a whole host of herbs and stuff that are mentioned in like the stuff that when they're murmuring against like Moses. So Moses is leading them, and then they have manna that rains down out of heaven and gives them like this like weird spongy bread that apparently got really dull really quick. And so they started murmuring and they started like reminiscing about all the herbs and stuff that they missed back in Egypt. And so often like herbs are mentioned in that context in Exodus, because I don't think it's until Leviticus that you get all the restrictions on things. So yeah.
Interesting. I guess that makes sense why it's called Exodus, if like that's when they're like leaving.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah.
So we also find mention of it in the Materia Medica, which is like the ancient herbal text written by, I still don't know how to say the name, Dioscorides.
Yeah, no. Didn't you say it different, Roz?
I did, but I don't know if I'm right. I said Dioscorides.
Oh, yes.
So
this that sounds more Greek.
So guess what? Okay, so I found it where it's in Exodus. So I'll tell you for truth what it is. Okay, this is great. Okay. So it's compared to manna. So it's about the manna. So yeah, so it's in Exodus 16:31. Now the house of Israel called its name manna. It was like coriander seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. Okay, so but apparently it got very boring very quick, even though it was manna and tasted wonderful. Like they were murmuring pretty quick about it because you had to eat it all the time, morning, noon, and night. That's all you
Mm.
got was manna. So they didn't like
Yeah.
that. And no, I don't think very many people would.
Too much of a good thing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So sick of manna. I mean, I like manna, but
I don't know.
this is too much
I have
manna.
a bagel pretty often. Sorry.
Okay, so then we have one of the first known cookbooks, which is Dairy Cocorina, which was written, it's estimated about 14 CE. And so he talks about cilantro in like this cookbook, but it's a cookbook, so it's just about adding flavor. It's not about anything like spiritual or like medicinal or anything. So the Columbian exchange brought cilantro to the New World, where it became like really common in Central American and South American cuisines. Again, there's some talk that maybe it was already in South America. We're not totally sure, but we know that the Columbian exchange brought like it like spread it to the Americas. And then eventually it made its way up to North America by the British colonists, but it wasn't until the late 70s, early 80s that it actually became popular here in North America. And it only became popular because of these other like ethnic foods. So the foods from Mexico, China, and the Hunan provinces, and Thailand. These foods from like these cultures is what created this popularity of cilantro in North America. And then even then it wasn't even available year round until the beginning of the 21st century. So it was pretty rare to find it like whenever you needed it in the like grocery stores and stuff. So a lot of sources say that the word coriander comes from the Greek word choris, which it means like bug, or specifically bed bug, because the
What, you don't like
Greeks
that?
and a lot of the ancient people say that it smells like bed bug urine. I don't know what bed bug urine smells like, but I hope it does not smell like cilantro.
Me too. That's horrible.
I'm gonna pretend it, I'm gonna say it does not.
Pretend I didn't hear that.
I'm gonna say no, absolutely not.
I don't want to hear that.
Lies and slander.
This is exactly dissociate.
So we don't want to think about this, but I'm going to keep talking about it. Okay. So then we have an Australian spice expert who said that it makes sense because there's this compound in some bug urine, especially bed bug urine, which is the same compound that we found in cilantro called Dioscorides. And then Diana Kennedy, who is like a really, really well-known Mexican chef and like cookbook author and stuff, she said, yeah, that makes sense because it smells like a lot of the juice from crunching like edible beetles in Mexico. So a lot of crunched up beetles smell like cilantro, I guess.
I'm not as concerned about the beetles. Like,
yeah, I guess that's a little
outside.
less.
Yeah, it's a little less.
Something about like, bed bug urine is not appetizing.
It ruins it.
So then we have the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. You guys know about this?
Yeah.
I had not heard about this, so this is pretty cool. I don't know much, but essentially the Hanging Gardens of Babylon are one of the 7 ancient wonders of the world that we still don't really know like where they are exactly, or like we don't really have any conclusive evidence about them, which makes them a wonder. And so we don't know where, we don't know exactly what was there, but there's been a lot of like letters and back and forth and writings and communication about these gardens. And so it's believed that they exist. We just aren't sure where they existed. And it's believed that they existed around 600 BCE. And so this is all kind of mostly word of mouth and like in writings and stuff. We don't have any archaeological evidence of this, but it's said that cilantro was in these gardens.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to have my medicinal act. Oh no, I couldn't really find any medicinal actions other than other than, stimulant, I think is the only one. I looked in my textbooks and I didn't, or my books, and I didn't really find any actions for it. And when I looked online, everybody listed different actions.
Mm.
So I'm not really sure medicinally what it would be used for. So then moving on to magic, a lot of people talk about how it's super deeply connected to the earth. And so it's used for a lot of like earth rituals and like remedies associated with like things in the earth and like the earthly body and nature. I don't really know why exactly so many people associate it with earth. Not that I'm against it, but nobody really gave any reasons why it's
It has a
associated with
super deep taproot.
It grows really well, really
Oh.
deep.
Yeah, it grows really deep root.
Yeah. I also would associate it with like, I mean, I don't know. I think that I could see earth. I could also see like air because it's so such like an aromatic. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Earth, magic, maybe. It was used to protect farmers and gardeners and everybody who lives in the gardener's home. So if you grow cilantro and you keep cilantro in your garden, then it's believed that everybody who lives in the home with you is going to be protected. So cilantro is very like protective. And then ancient Chinese believed that eating cilantro and or coriander seeds would bring about some type of immortality. So there's this like immortality association with it. And it's really hardy, which I think also makes it a little connected to earthy. I feel like really hardy plants tend to be a bit earthy. And so it is often used for spells regarding like endurance, stamina, hardiness, persistence, like living, like surviving, all of that stuff.
That makes sense.
Hmm?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Makes sense. And then prosperity and wealth. Again, not totally sure about like the wealth aspect, but hey, I can see it. Some people have said that it has been used in sachets to draw like customers to a business. And so you can put it in like a floor wash for your business or make a sachet for your business, which ties to the prosperity aspect and the wealth aspect. It said that if you want to further protect your home, you gather a bunch and then wrap it with a ribbon and then hang it like in your house, kind of like you would the garlic that we talked about. Correspondences, I couldn't find any correspondences on this one either, and I looked up coriander and cilantro. The only thing that I came up with was air for the element. I could also see earth though. I didn't really see anything for like planets or signs or anything like that.
Okay.
But
There
that's cilantro.
Woohoo!
And then yeah, my sources.
Very nice. Okay.
Yay.
Okay.